At the start of the film, a group of teenagers has gathered to compete in a gaming tournament, with the winner receiving $10,000. The only goal of the game is to kill the other players and rack up as many points as possible. After the game begins, two players begin slaughtering all of the other players one by one, amassing a large number of points. One is an aspiring newbie girl, while the other is a pro who has won numerous awards in the gaming world. As the audience cheers, the veteran uses his experience to take the lead, but the newbie girl has an ace up her sleeve. She pulls out a bottle of Impulse 9 energy drink and drinks it all at once, which not only gives her energy but also slows down time by 100 times. She kills all the players on site with this power, including the veteran. After winning the tournament, the girl begins to celebrate with her boyfriend. But little did she know that her joy was about to be snuffed out in the most brutal way possible. The bottle of energy drink falls to the ground and shatters, jolting the girl back to reality. When she does, she discovers herself to be an adult with 3 children. To make matters worse, she is living in a rundown house with no electricity or modern amenities. Outside, the world has devolved into a barren wasteland, and even the oxygen we breathe has become poisonous. Following that, we flash back to a few days before the tournament, with the introduction of the girl, Val Hernandez. She is a brazen up and coming FPS gamer whose only ambition in life is to go pro and make a living from it. Val lives with her divorced father, Carlos, in 2017. He arranges for Val to attend a job interview at a diner one day, and she reluctantly leaves the house in formals. Outside, her boyfriend Evan arrives in his car to pick her up. Val quickly changes her dress in the back after they leave. She ends up canceling her interview and attending a tournament of a game called Field of Fire. Field of Fire, like most FPS Battle Royale games, is a multiplayer game in which the main goal is to be the last person standing. Val believes that if she wins first place, she will be able to make a fortune and build herself a gaming computer. Evan, on the other hand, bursts her bubble by revealing that a seasoned professional gamer named Roy will make an unexpected appearance in the tournament. Soon after, the two arrive at the competition arena and see Roy taking pictures with his fans. Before the first match begins, Evan reminds his girlfriend not to get carried away and to concentrate solely on qualifying for the finals. Val, on the other hand, is determined to defeat the arrogant Roy. After a while, all of the players take their seats at their computers, and the game begins. Val takes an early lead, but Roy quickly catches up with her. He even interacts with the crowd during the game, demonstrating his self-assurance. Val takes advantage of this, scores some points, and is on the verge of winning, but instead of completing the game, she opts for a glory kill. Roy eliminates her in the blink of an eye after the plan quickly backfires. Despite this, Val qualifies for the finals the following day. As the couple exits the arena, Roy appears and mocks Val before taking selfies with his fans. While Evan is away getting his car, a man named Kojima approaches Val and reveals the secret to winning. Val is perplexed by the strange remark, but before she can respond, Kojima hands her his business card and walks away. When Val gets home, she tries her hardest not to make any noise, but her father catches her red-handed. She has no choice but to tell him the truth about where she was during the day, which enraged Carlos even more. He then instructs her to go to the diner the following day and request a job interview. Val, on the other hand, claims that the tournament final is also the next day, which is more important for her future. And, like any other parent, Carlos tries to persuade Val that online gaming has no future, but she ignores him and storms off to her room. Soon after, she listens to a podcast about the game from earlier in the day and becomes enraged that Roy took the first position. She then notices Kojima's business card and recalls him discussing the secret to winning. As a result, fueled by vengeance and the desire to win, she decides to go to the given address. She soon arrives at the Golden Saucer, which turns out to be a gaming cafe. A couple of people are inside, playing video games on their computers and consoles. Soon after, Kojima approaches her and tells her to sit and play a game. Val is still perplexed as to why Kojima gave her the business card, but she plays the game anyway. She increases the difficulty of the game and struggles to complete the level. When Kojima notices this, he hands her an energy drink called Impulse 9. However, he informs her that this is not your typical energy drink. Val takes a small sip of the drink, curious, and all of a sudden, everything she perceives begins to move slowly. As a result, the game, which was previously impossible for her to play, has now become extremely simple for her. Val wakes up in the blink of an eye and finds herself across the table from Kojima. When she asks what happened, he explains that Impulse 9 extends time for whoever drinks it, and that Val hasn't sipped the drink in an hour. He also reveals that the amount of time stretched is determined by the amount of energy drink consumed. Following this, Kojima demands $500 for a single bottle, which surprises Val. She begins to suspect that using the drink to compete in tournaments may be considered cheating. But then Kojima receives a phone call from Roy, revealing that he, too, uses Impulse 9 to win games. This is why other gamers and pundits have dubbed him unbeatable. Val eventually decides to purchase the bottle of Impulse 9 after learning of this. Val takes out the bottle of Impulse 9 and places it next to her keyboard the next day at the arena. She takes a small sip of the energy drink just before the game begins. She then dominates the leaderboard for a while by using ultra slow motion. When Roy notices this, he drinks some Impulse 9 and begins climbing the ranks, eventually reaching the top. Val becomes desperate as a result, and she consumes the entire bottle of energy drink regardless of the outcome. As a result, time moves at a much slower pace for Val, which she takes full advantage of. She eventually kills Roy's avatar and wins the entire tournament. The audience goes wild, and everyone cheers for her and Evan. The energy bottle falls to the ground and shatters as the couple kisses. Val abruptly returns to reality and finds herself sitting on a chair in a dilapidated house. She is holding a baby, and Evan enters the room shortly after, wearing torn and filthy clothes. He puts the baby to bed and instructs Val to get ready. Val becomes extremely perplexed and begins to hyperventilate after seeing her fully grown adult body and a wedding ring on her hand. She runs downstairs for some relief, but to her surprise, 2 other children address her as mommy. Val vomits in surprise and runs outside the house. She discovers the neighborhood in complete disarray, with people living in tents and public restrooms in the open. It is finally revealed here that Val has traveled to the year 2029, skipping over 10 years of her life in an instant. Furthermore, the town where they live is surrounded by high walls that separate it from the wasteland. Death lizards, dangerous creatures known for attacking humans, live in the wastelands. As a result, the town's residents regularly guard the gate in shifts. Furthermore, it turns out that people who drank a lot of Impulse 9 in the past are only now waking up and are known as pulsars. This resulted in people returning to reality many years later with no memories, causing havoc and chaos all over the world. However, there is no way to tell if someone is a pulsar until they snap back to the current time. Furthermore, because the pulsars caused the apocalypse, most people despise them and rarely allow them to remain within the safety of the walls. Val and Dan are the town's sheriff and deputy, respectively. Val conceals the fact that she, too, had consumed Impulse 9 in order to avoid becoming like the pulsar. Val later tries to figure out what is going on at home. She then recalls her father, Carlos, and tries to recall their last meeting. When Val turns her head, she notices an urn containing her father's ashes on the mantle. This breaks her heart, and she bursts into tears. Soon after, Deputy Dan summons Val for latrine duty. She initially refuses, but Dan reminds her that she is a sanitation commissioner and must perform the duties. As a result, she is forced to spend several hours cleaning the filthy latrines. After a few days, Val becomes accustomed to the ways of the post-apocalyptic neighborhood. She does everything one day, including guard duty, scavenging, and latrine duty. She picks up her children from school, where her daughter, Sophia, gives her a drawing of herself, declaring her to be her hero. Val, on the other hand, is exhausted and does not appreciate the little girl's efforts. When she arrives at the house, Evan is pedaling a bicycle to power up a game console because there is no electricity. Val is surprised to learn that the game is her favorite, Field of Fire. Val is overjoyed and agrees to play one round before putting the kids to bed. Val and the kids begin to play late into the night after Evan leaves for a social gathering. After a few hours, Evan rushes inside. He is clearly terrified, and he informs Val that she has missed her guard duty shift. Dan, who was pounding on the gate to be let in, was as a result killed by the death lizards. Without further ado, the two rush to the scene where Dan's traumatized wife is enraged with Val. Val tries to go home, filled with guilt, but Evan says she has to finish her guard shift. She reluctantly agrees. Val returns home in excruciating pain after her shift ends. She expresses her emotions to Evan, who comforts and reassures her before she goes to bed. Val decides to leave everything behind and travel the wastelands, believing she has no place in the new world. As a result, she writes Evan a letter in which she admits to being a pulsar. The next morning, Val leaves her neighborhood with the intention of never returning, while Evan reads the letter and is completely taken aback. In the following scene, Val continues to walk through the barren land and comes across an abandoned building. The dilapidated structure turns out to be Kojima's cafe, the Golden Saucer. Val enters the gaming cafe hesitantly and takes a look around. Kojima appears from behind the counter, much to her surprise, but she senses something is amiss. Kojima hasn't aged a day, she notices, but he doesn't explain how. As the two talk, Kojima learns that Val only snapped a week ago, and he admits that the Impulse 9 drink ruined a lot of people's lives. He does, however, have a plan to relieve her of all her recent sufferings. Kojima pulls out a large bottle of Impulse 9 and tells her that if she drinks it, she will never be able to return to this world. This is because she will travel hundreds of years in the future and will be dead by then. Kojima also suggests she play her favorite game while she's at it. Val likes the concept and decides to play Field of Fire. When she leans forward to grab the Impulse 9 bottle, she comes across the drawing her daughter made for her and becomes emotional. Val then takes a trip down memory lane, recalling all of the good times she shared with her children and Evan. As a result, she abandons her plan to consume the energy drink in favor of returning to the community to reunite with her family. Evan, the angry guard at the gate, refuses to let his wife in because she betrayed everyone's trust. Val apologizes profusely and promises to restart and make things right. The two of them suddenly hear gunshots from afar and realize that the Death Lizards are approaching their community. The Death Lizards are then revealed to be a group of normal people who are cannibals and hunt on others in the wasteland. So Evan lets Val in, and the alarms sound, sending everyone into a frenzy. One woman tells Val that everyone is heading to the ravine because no one is prepared to fight off the attackers. When she hears this, an idea occurs to her. She intends to gain their trust because everyone in the community believes she has betrayed them. As a result, she informs her husband that she will remain behind and repel the intruders for as long as she can. Evan is sad to be leaving without her, but when Val tells him to go look after their children, he does so. Val then pulls out the large Impulse 9 bottle from earlier and prepares for battle. The Death Lizards enter the gate as well, ready to wreak havoc. The two immediately recognize each other, and Roy reveals that he snapped back into reality a few years ago, and that he has since transformed into a barbaric leader capable of killing anyone he desires. Despite his threats, Val remains unfazed. She had already finished the energy drink before they arrived, as evidenced by her tossing the empty bottle towards Roy. Val suddenly slows down and fires on one of the gas canisters, sending the attackers flying. A brutal shootout ensues, and Val manages to eliminate nearly all of them. Unfortunately, she is shot in the stomach and shoulder before collapsing. Roy appears out of nowhere and fires a shot at Val, but misses. Taking advantage of the situation, she shoots back and kills Roy. With her last breath, she fires a flare, signaling to Evan that the community has been saved. The film concludes with Evan noticing the bright red flare while Val slowly dies.